What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And yesterday was a momentous day. Um, Lee Zeldin popped up at a Kenilworth plant where they build semi trucks and equipment and things of that nature, and literally put the entire diesel world on its head by saying, "Well, this."
Global policy, and those are a sample of many of the references used while developing that preamble. Next question.
This is the final question, sir.
Garrett Bergquist, Wish TV, Indianapolis. In effect, if placed into effect as currently envisioned, does this rule effectively reset the emission standards for autos, light, medium, heavy duty trucks back to 2008 standards? What sorts of things will be left in place? What will be taken out?
As it relates to greenhouse gas emission standards on light duty, medium duty, and heavy duty, it doesn't reset anything. It eliminates everything.
So, welcome on back to TK's Garage. And what does that mean? I saw a lot of the comments. What about gas cars? What about gas trucks? They were at a place that makes diesel engines. So they were focusing on diesel semi trucks, but it's for everybody, guys. Damn, can I not kick the camera? It is what we call freedom. It will, and I've already seen the comments, TK, Clean Air Act, blah, 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 blah. This will make vehicles or tailpipe emissions or emission systems on cars not covered under the Clean Air Act. Look it up. I've had multiple people comment on it. Reporters also asked them about it. People have tweeted at them about it, and now news media has talked about it. What happens when Section 209 goes, where it's no longer covered by light duty, medium duty, or heavy duty diesel trucks, or gasoline cars for that matter with catalytic converters? They're not required anymore. They're no longer required under BS science. It means that you can have a reliable diesel truck. It means manufacturers can make them without any of that bullshit. No DPF, no DEF. Whether they keep the EGRs or not for fuel economy or whatever is a different thing. But I'm willing to bet there will probably be procedures in place that if you want to order one that doesn't have any of that on it, you're probably going to be able to do that. I've also seen comments, TK, when does this bill pass? It's not a bill. It's a rule. And so we're clear. I want you to understand how this happened. First, you had the big, beautiful bill, which, to be honest, I don't agree with everything that's in that bill, especially if you're a professional gambler. You hate life. But there's good things in there. Tax cuts and basically killing the EV mandate. Also, it was because of the Congressional Review Acts being submitted, having to deal with different types of emission standards from all the way from factories to tailpipe emissions, all those different CRAs. And after those legislations became law, it empowers Lee Zeldin to then say, cool, we're going to remove this endangerment finding because we've already proved that this is not the same thing. And if you look at when it was actually instituted, the language and the stuff that they were using, it's not. There's no science on the books that they can go to say NOx from a diesel truck causes climate change. Not going to find it. So, and I already know what the tree hugging, meat riding, sack swinging, dum-dums are going to be in the, you guys want smog and bad. Listen, this is not the channel for you. Just keep it moving before, one of my mods or myself ends up doing something horrible to a family member of yours in the comments sideways, and then we comment about it and we block you. And then you're just in your feelings for the next 2 weeks. Look, this is very simple. This is massive positive news for all performance motorsports type of people. Whether you're I like diesel trucks that are deleted, or whether you want your gas car with no cats, like the Cadillac, right? My Cadillac is headers and pipes. That's it. There's no catalytic converters on the STS. And there's currently cats on the BMW, but we're going catless downpipe on that ASAP. Remember last time Lee Zeldin said it was the largest deregulation thing? Now this is the largest deregulation in American history, in U.S. history. He actually had an interview spot on Fox News talking about some of this outside of the interviews, outside of the questions he answered to the press directly. And that one reporter asked him a very key question. You know, are we looking at rolling emissions back to 2008, pre-2008, you know, yada, yada. And he literally was like, no, we're eliminating it. That's the part I want you guys to understand and to be clear. It eliminates it. Let's watch this clip real quick from Lee Zeldin on Fox, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about what it means for California and some of these other states that are may try to buck the trend with federal law. But Pam Bondi, I know people are giving her a lot of crap because they're saying she's not arresting people and do whatever. They're not playing any games. And I think that's why you saw people resign from CARB day before yesterday. You had some people resign there. Whether Gavin Newsom told them to resign or not, for policies and stuff they may have put into place dealing with the refineries in California. But let's go to this clip from Zeldin, and then we'll come back.
The EPA is moving to repeal an Obama-era climate declaration, which the Trump administration says let the agency essentially regulate parts of the U.S. economy out of existence. Kelly Saberi is live at a semi-truck dealership in Indianapolis with more. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Dana. Well, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin is touting this proposal as the single largest deregulation action in U.S. history. And now he's talking about all the industries that are going to benefit from this. Take a listen.
They created this endangerment finding, and then they were able to put all these regulations on vehicles, on airplanes, on stationary sources to basically regulate out of existence, in many cases, a lot of forms of segments of our economy. And it costs Americans a lot of money.
EVs have been difficult to sell in the U.S., and this is what consumers are going to feel most from this. While hybrids are increasing in popularity here and have become a focus for several American car makers over EVs, gas still dominates new sales. And analysts say this is due to a lack of charging infrastructure and significantly higher price tags than gas counterparts. The average price of an EV was roughly $8,000 more than a gas-powered car, according to June data. The EV tax credit is to thank for much of the small demand for EVs. Tesla's website currently displays a message reminding customers about the deadline to get that tax credit. It will expire this fall. Still, there's concerns about the U.S. competing globally if EV development dwindles in American companies. That's because 20% of all cars sold worldwide are an EV. U.S. automakers, though, only make up 5% of electric cars sold globally. And I'll leave you with this. We are expecting this to go down with a fight, or I should say, to not go down without a fight.
Yeah.
We're expecting environmental groups to fight back on this proposal, Dana.
I mean, there's a lot of lawyers and lobbyists who want to get on this one. Thanks, Kelly. Good.
So between that and the intro and what Lee said directly, I mean, look, this is a historic time for the auto industry. Whether it's going to be just, trucks, cars, whatever, we're going to be able to, like the horsepower wars that we had between 2015 and 2023, some of the stuff that's going to come out now that there's no more CAFE standards, there's no fines, there's no carbon credits, just none of this crap. It is going to hurt Tesla because they don't get to sell those credits to people anymore. But it's also going to help all the other American companies that are here. And I'm talking about Ford and GM because Stellantis is still a European company, but they do have American brands. Getting into California, what does this mean? Well, once this endangerment finding gets pulled, and that is the rule of the Environmental Protection Agency, i.e. the federal government, California doesn't have any waivers. They have to go by what the federal government says. They can try to sue. They can do whatever. Pam Bondi also said some very clear things that, if the president directs her, they would go in and seize control of things in California if they had to make them comply with federal law. What does that mean? That means like, hey, look, you guys ain't running your DMV anymore. We're going to take it over for now. We'll bring our own people in here and make sure that this is running the correct way. What does it mean for smog shops? Well, if they don't flip really quickly to this VSSI program stuff for you guys in California where you're doing like, do your blinkers work? Do you have brakes? Are your tires bald? If they're not doing that inspection program, a lot of those companies that do smog in California, you guys are about to go the F out of business. Bye. Sorry. But the days of, you have to have a CARB-approved catalytic converter, or, you can't drive your 2001 Ford truck in California, those are coming to an end. And California has no say. They can't do anything. They can try. They can try to sue. They can do whatever. And the federal government's already made it very clear. Until there is a decision, which we already know what that decision would be at the Supreme Court, they're going to lose. The federal government will come in and seize control. And that's going to look really bad for Gavin Newsom if it happens before he leaves office. And it will look really bad for whoever the next California governor is. So, in my opinion, this is all positive. It will be the death of smog checks and all the other stuff because the endangerment finding will basically confirm that tailpipe emissions have nothing to do with public health and harm and all this other crap. And that doesn't have to happen anymore. It goes away. That also means that, hey, the EGR cooler or whatever is bad on your truck, or like in I had a BMW X5 that was like that. Literally just delete it, take it out, put a thing over the swirl flaps, put a delete kit on it and keep it moving. Going to get better mileage, probably run better because it's not having a struggle to breathe with all that crap going on, and just go about your life. And I've seen all the comments. Oh, great. Now I got to deal with somebody rolling coal on me at the light, at a stoplight or whatever. Please shut up. Shut up. So what if that happens like one time every 5 or 6, some kid rolls coal. Ooh, wow, my life has changed. Somebody rolled coal. Come on, man. Stop being a fucking Karen. Seriously. You sound like little bitches when y'all do that. Just so we're clear. When you're in the comments and you're like, you sound like little bitches. So I would advise not to comment, because I can tell you that there'll be a lot of men in the comments that's probably going to cook you. And I'm going to prove them too. Prove them comments. When I see them, if they get held, I'll prove them. Because we got to stop that shit. Worry about your own damn shit. You want emission systems on your vehicle, your car, your truck, fine. Have them all you want. Don't worry about what's on my shit or the next man's shit. Got it? So I might do a video for you guys later today. I actually have the document, and I already know we already went long on this, but I already have the document here. Did I put it in? I think I put it in the chat with the guys earlier, but why it's important. Here it is. Oh no, that's Stellantis' work schedule. Huh? I don't know. Maybe I sent it to somebody else. But, oh yeah, I know where it is. The reason why it's important, guys, and here it is. Endangerment finding, one paper. I'm going to go over it, but I want to make it its own separate video. So it will dispel all of the bullshit. But let me just read the top part of it, and then we'll get out of here. Today, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin announced the agency will reconsider the 2009 endangerment finding. Through this reconsideration, the EPA will give the public the chance to weigh in on the science, law, and policy choices at issue in the finding. EPA cannot prejudge the outcome of this reconsideration process. And it talks about what it is. But basically what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to come with BS science, all right, or just out and out bullshit, and expect that the courts are going to honor it, people are going to honor it, the government's going to honor it as fact. You have to have actual science, experiments, a process that you can show that it actually harms, if that's the case. They don't have that. They just manufactured this bullshit endangerment finding. So that's why we're at where we're at. Can you delete your diesel truck? Comments will end, or like public comment. So if you want to say, hey, look, yeah, we want freedom, we want whatever, go comment on it. Go over to the EPA site and comment on it. I'll say this, at the end of these next 44 days, because we're already into the period, what happens at that point is Lee Zeldin will consult with the president. It doesn't go to Congress. It doesn't go somewhere else. And then the president says, do it. And Lee Zeldin does it. And then that's the rule. Becomes the law of the land in terms of federal policy. And the states have to follow that. It's called federal supremacy. California doesn't have a choice. Oregon, Washington, Colorado, nut riders in, wherever, Virginia, Massachusetts, they don't have a choice. They will have to follow it. So start cracking your beers, start celebrating, because at least I know from what I'm seeing right here, we're going to have deleted trucks. And funny how all those people that were saying shit wasn't going to change got quiet. Yes, I'm raising the petty finger. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what we do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We got the 30th and the 31st. So we got 2 days left. So we got today and tomorrow left of 30X entries. If you're trying to win the Ram Laramie 1500 that we posted up for this period's giveaway. We also have the Cadillac STS that's also included in that giveaway. So whoever wins gets to pick between those vehicles. Second place gets what's left. That's just how that's going to work. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Go over to tksgarage.com. You pick up any of the merch down here below the screen, or over at tksgarage.com directly, and that will that every dollar spent counts as 30 entries. Sorry, it's already been a wild morning, man, and it's early as hell for me. Sorry. But it's just so much news, so much stuff I got to cover. It's been crazy. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.